All right, so we are here in blazing hot Fort Worth, Texas, right now. Zeke, you wouldn't even believe the temperature here right now, man. This ain't your kind of weather.
What is it?
Let me check. We got to the early 100s today.
Yeah, no, I'm out. You don't even have to say the rest.
Oh, it's 94.
It's 7 o'clock there.
It's 90. Yep, and it's 94 degrees in Fort Worth, Texas.
Couldn't be me, brother. Couldn't be me.
94. We don't fuck around here in the Lone Star State when it comes to our weather at this time of year. Like
Clearly not.
we are seriously in a time right now. Like it's just beginning. This is just what happens. We've got the schedule release. It's only May. You know what's funny is this is the time last year that I was moving in.
That's right.
And I remember following the schedule release as that was going on.
Oh, I listen. I remember that day very fondly. That was the day that I planned my first trip to Texas.
Oh yeah, for the because we knew the Thanksgiving game, which we know the Thanksgiving game this year too, and we're gonna talk about it. Because let me tell you, one of us here is not pleased. Me, because for those of y'all that don't know or are new here, I'm an employee of the Dallas Cowboys and Legends, and wow. I had the privilege of working the season last year, and you want to know who the Thanksgiving game was? The Giants and Drew Lock. You know who they get this year? The Chiefs.
That's right.
And all I heard today. Let me tell you something too. Not to go off too much of a tangent, but let me tell you something here too.
Oh, here he goes.
Those Cowboy fans, when it comes to George Pickens, dude, they are on the moon.
Give me a break.
They are on the moon when it comes to this. Okay, we got a Thanksgiving update here. We've got Packers and Lions again. That was a good game a couple years ago. Obviously, Chiefs Cowboys, and now it's confirmed. AFC North matchup: Bengals and Ravens at 8:20 Eastern, 7:20 our time. Which, that was another conversation I was having today. I want to ask you about. I'm at a point. You know I've liked the Bengals for a while, but I'm at a point where I'm not taking them as seriously as I used to.
As you shouldn't.
There's no defense.
Nope. No O-line.
And now the O-line has been a struggle, and now we're looking at a situation where I really can't picture a scenario where Trey Hendrickson is going to come back, and I hate that. But I saw something. He came out I believe it was either yesterday or today, where he's like, these negotiations have now become personal, and
Yeah.
I don't fuck with that, man. Like that's when I hear that, like that's where I'm like this could be going down a slippery slope right now. I don't like it.
Yeah, well, Cincinnati's historically cheap. They're probably going to continue to be cheap. I mean, you want to spend that much on your receiving room? Well, how about your shitty defense? How about the one pillar of your defense? No, I don't want to hear nothing about Jermaine Pratt, Mr.
Joseph
Wilson.
Osai.
Yeah, give me a fucking break. This is your main guy. Trey Hendrickson is always productive. He was productive in New Orleans. He's productive there. Pay the damn man.
The Bengals fans thing is like, oh, well, he's 30, and if we pay him now, he's going to regress. I'm like, this is the one thing you have, okay, on this unit. Like you have to I get he's older, but like it's not a Darius Slay thing where like Darius Slay. The Eagles have the depth to recover from that. Like, hello, they have Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. Like, there is a substitute. There is no substitute in the Bengals. This is what you have. So, like, what's the deal?
Right, hey, rumor has it the Bengals are going to sign you to play corner. Is this true?
Dax Hill, look out. Coming for your job, baby.
He's coming.
Fear for your job, Dax. I'm going to beat you out in training camp, baby. I'm coming.
The Bengals just, I mean, you know, I've never been high on the Bengals. I've been talking that shit for years now.
You were, you were. Oh, I don't want to say you were ahead on it because I will say, like 2022, I had their back. You didn't really. They went to the AFC Championship. They were a game away from going to the Super Bowl. I had their back. You didn't. So, like, I will take my credit for that. But the year after that, Joe Burrow got hurt. So, like, okay, but now, like that defense is so thinned out to this point to where it's not. It doesn't matter what they can produce on offense. It doesn't matter as long as that defense is that underproductive. They have a ceiling, and I hate to see it because I love Joe Burrow. I love the city of Cincinnati. I love the Bengals are a very passionate fan base. So like I want to see them do good, but it's
They're gonna be waiting a long time.
They've waited a very long time. They deserve it. Minnesota deserves it. And I want to see it happen for them. Okay, I just got an official schedule here that just came in. The Ravens. Let's see what this thing looks like. We're gonna talk about the Dolphins here in a minute too.
Start on the road this year, pal.
I know you were texting me today about.
I'm pissed.
Okay. So, everybody does all these like PR things now when it comes to their schedule release.
Yeah.
The Ravens did this thing this year where they've got it on like a Windows 97. Like you see this here?
Mm-hmm.
It says like Ravon. Okay. Ravon out of business. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but okay. Okay. Oh, holy shit. Okay. So we have our first Sunday night football game scheduled.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens and Bills. The matchup of last year's two MVPs going at it. And this game is going to be in Orchard Park in the final year at Highmark Stadium. And then, they've got the Lions, week 3. You remember the last time the Ravens played the Lions?
Yes. It was a massacre.
Wait, no, I'm thinking of when the now canceled Justin Tucker hit the game-winning field goal.
No, remember? What was it? Was it last year? I think it was. Detroit went to Baltimore.
Recently?
Yeah, and Baltimore beat the shit out of them.
That must have been the year before. I think that was the year before because I think that was the 14-2 year.
Either way, it was not that long ago.
Oh wait, yeah, no, I remember that. I remember that now. I remember that now.
It was an absolute ass kicking. Everybody was expecting this great game, and we got nothing.
I actually do kind of remember that now that you say it. Hold on, let me look it up. Ravens Lions last matchup.
It was early in the season, from what I remember. I know it was in Baltimore.
It was October 22nd, 23. Yeah, Ravens 38, Lions 6.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
I remember that now. Okay, let's continue looking at this Ravens schedule here. So, which by the way, Derrick Henry just got paid today too.
As you should.
Very deserving. Got some hard games on here.
They should.
The Lions, they've got the Rams. Luckily for them, though, they've got these games at home, which is big.
Right.
They're on the road in KC at the end of September. They're on the road in Minnesota.
That'll be an interesting one.
They got this December sucks. They're on the road in Cincy.
Mm-hmm.
They're on the road in Green Bay on Christmas weekend.
Oh.
And they're on the road in Pittsburgh. So a lot of cold weather games.
Good. To hell with Lamar.
And they're also on the road in Cleveland on the 16th, which that was a snow game at that time last year.
Yep.
And then they're on the road against the mighty Dolphins on Halloween week.
Yeah. Yep. Do you see what time that game is?
That's an 8:20, right?
Should be a Thursday night.
Oh yeah, there it is. TNF. Yep, Thursday night. Yeah.
God damn it.
8:15 Eastern time.
They put us on prime time against Buffalo, The Ravens, and you know what? Although you know what happened last time the Ravens played at Hard
that
Rock
was just lacking.
on Thursday Night Football, right?
Yeah, no, y'all stuck it to them.
It's right. Brian Flores shut Lamar down.
I remember that game. You know, your boy Brian Flores.
Well, let's not go that far. But yeah, so hey, the Ravens are gonna have not the easiest year, and quite frankly, I love it.
Well, that's one thing we always talk about is these first place schedules.
Yeah.
You know, you and I emphasize this every year. These schedules mean everything.
Mm-hmm.
They really do. Like everybody's like, oh well, if you're good enough, you'll win 14. No, if your schedule is structured a certain way, you could be fucked. Like and the big thing that I always look at this time of year, who are you playing in December?
Mm.
And where is the game located? If you're a warm weather team and you're playing in the cold, like we saw it with the Dolphins several years ago.
This fucking guy.
When y'all were playing in Buffalo. It's not a good, you're playing in Buffalo, playing in Baltimore. It's not a good setup.
Yeah.
And when you're playing really hard teams, when you have a tough stretch in December, again, I'm going to beat down on the Dolphins. But when you had that,
What the hell?
That stretch of what was it? San Fran, the Bills. It was a tough stretch for a while back in 2022. And like when your year is structured like that, you want to have a cakewalk in December because it's all about building momentum to win the playoffs. And so, I was talking with my guy Mike James, the Eagles fan in our office, and the Cowboys. Oddly enough, that's crazy. But we were having that conversation today, and we were just talking about the NFC East because I think the NFC East is wide open. We'll talk about schedule projections as the year goes on, but the NFC East is pretty much, I can see the Cowboys finishing first. I can see them finishing fourth. It's a wide range. The Eagles, I could see them winning it. I could see Washington beating them out because of the first place schedule thing. I've got the Eagles schedule pulled up right now, and I'm telling you, this thing is not easy. This is not easy. They've got Dallas week 1, which I'm going with Philly for that win. Week 1, ring ceremony. I like Philly. You know what week 2 is? You don't know yet? We have a Super Bowl rematch on week 2.
Oh, yeah. At Arrowhead, right? Yeah. I saw that.
And then they host the team that almost beat them in the playoffs, the Rams. And then they go on the road to hot Tampa Bay on September 28th. I'll tell you, it's going to be hot as a motherfucker in South Florida at that time.
Yeah, it is.
South for a while. It does not go away in September. It's still going to be hot and heavy. I don't know if the Northern boys are going to like that too much. And then, okay, this is good for them. They get to host Denver. That's big. Being able to host Denver. I think I have a lot of Denver's games, which we'll get into. I like this year. Giants, the quote unquote improved Giants.
To hell with them.
in MetLife. And they go on the road. Okay, this is weird. They get the Giants, Vikings, and then Giants again. I hate when that happens. Like that happened with the Jets and Patriots 2 years ago. Like when they play right on top of each other. I'm like, how do you let that happen?
Now let me just say something about that. I'm extremely thankful that they did it that way this year because I'm so sick and tired of the Giants getting Philly at the end of the year when Philly's resting all the guys, and then the Giants get technically a win. And then all these Giants are, well, we beat Philly. Give me a break.
It happens every year, too. It's like clockwork.
Come on. The fuck.
I remember when that happened for the first time when Philly ended the season 1-5 2 years ago, and all of the Giants fans were like, well, we took down the Eagles. I'm like, they gave up. They didn't want to be on the field. I'm like, it was like playing Fonda Fultonville that day. Like they didn't want to be there.
Right.
All right. And so then they got, so Philly's got a week 9 bye, which I like that. Week 9 is a perfect time for a bye. Like,
yeah, I like that.
Too early, not too late. Week 9 is good. Then we got that Monday Night Football game that was teased with the Packers. Then they got the Lions. And then they got Dallas on the road. week 12 on the 23rd, and then they've got Chicago, the Chargers on the road. Okay, this is a plus for them. December's not bad. They've got Washington twice, which kind of sucks. I got them on Christmas.
Oh, fuck.
No. They've got Washington on December 20th.
Okay.
And then week 18. But, like, I wanted to see, which that could be for the division. So that could be something. And then this could be the game of the year. They've got that Buffalo game again. This time they're in Orchard Park on December 28th. That sucks.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
And so it is so hard to repeat in this league because you get that first place schedule. You know, you get coaches get poached, talent everywhere gets poached. It just sucks.
Yep.
I've got our first comments here from my guy Alex Chasen saying that the Patriots are going to go 20-0.
My ass. How about that? No, listen. We've talked about it. I like a lot of what they're doing. When I look at the Dolphins schedule, I can't look at it and say, "Oh, those are 2 easy wins anymore." So that pains me. Listen, and Miami's got to go to New England at week 18, the end of the year. I hate that for us.
Oh no, is that official?
Yep.
That's gonna be that sucks.
Yeah. Goddamn right it does.
Do you want to do it? Do you want to rip the Band-Aid off and just pull up this Dolphins schedule?
No. Listen. So as far as the Eagles go, and you know how it is, it's hard because when you're coming off as the champ, you're gonna get everybody's best shot.
Oh yeah.
You know, especially down the stretch, and you never know in the NFL. A team can get hot at the right moment, have the right momentum. You go into the play. You never know. That's what I love about the NFL. And I will say though, as far as schedule day, this is what pisses me off. Okay, they come out with this list a couple weeks before, and they say such and such has strength of schedule. To me, that means dick.
Yeah.
Because so many guys, you can get hurt. So many things can change. Whoever has the hardest now, probably by the end of the year won't have the hardest schedule. So I don't buy into all that.
Well, point blank, like you cannot calculate strength of schedule right now. You can't. I don't believe there's a metric for it. And I'm a math guy, you know. I excelled in math in high school. I was calculus, all that stuff.
That's right.
But you can't calculate that right now because we don't know who's going to be who in December. Look, the Commanders are a perfect example, right? I look at them and I'm like, coming off of an NFC championship, they in theory got better in free agency. Bringing in Laramie Tunsil, bringing in Debo, bringing in Kinlaw. I like what they did.
Right.
But how those pieces going to translate is Jane Daniels going to have a sophomore slump? No. Right. He could get better this year. He could get worse. The fact of the matter is we don't know. Right. This is all of our perceived values of these teams. You could look at the Titans, and this is something I'm going to talk about after a while, a little hint about my video is about tomorrow. This could be a team that's 10-7.
Maybe. I don't know, but maybe.
No, you're in the AFC South. You tweaked a couple things. Brian Callahan's second year.
Uh-huh.
Who knows? You don't know.
Okay. All right.
Like there's a couple teams like you know what they're going to be, right? Like I know that your Chiefs are most likely going to be your West champions, even though the road is harder. I still think that they're leaps and bounds better than the Chargers and better than the Broncos. Like I just think that there's a gap there still. It's thinning, but it's still there. You look at the West. I think the Rams are your clear favorite. There's a couple divisions you just look around and you're like, yeah, they're gonna lock that up. But then and I'm sorry to pick on you again, but Buffalo is probably gonna win the East.
I don't know what I did to this guy.
They locked up in November last year, and I think the path could be easier this year. So,
yeah.
you know,
We're gonna have a chat, you and me.
I'm just being honest about what I'm seeing here. There's a couple teams that stand out, whereas other divisions you look at it and you're like, well, I don't know. You know, the NFC East, is it the Eagles? Is it Washington?
Mm.
You know, the NFC South, is it Tampa Bay? Is it Atlanta? How much better is Carolina going to be? Carolina, I thought, had a good draft. You know, how is that going to translate over? And like, there's some divisions where you don't really know. It's a couple teams. I don't really know what direction they're going to go in. Like Houston's a team. Are they going to take the next step here? Are they going to regress? I don't have a great feel on them because of the condition their offensive line is in. But there's other people out there who think they're a top 10 team. So the Vikings, coming off a 14-win season, they could win half of their games this year. You don't know.
So I'll say the Eagles. So to have the Commanders twice late in the season like that is very intriguing to me, and I can't wait for it.
Well, because that Week 18 game could be for the division.
100%.
But you could also have one of them could have had their season go sideways with injuries, and they're just not even a fucking factor at that point.
Right.
Or one of them could have played out of their minds, had the division on lock for 2 games, and they just have it locked up. The other one's resting starters, and you're just kind of coasting it out. I hope it's the first thing I said. I hope it's for the division.
Right.
Honestly, like I want another Lions-Vikings thing because on paper that was great last year with that game. Just quite frankly, didn't deliver. So,
right.
I hope that game is for the division. But when I think everybody overlooks the fact that Philly did not have a first place schedule last year. They had a second place schedule. Dallas had the first place schedule, and
Right.
Pittsburgh was not a first place caliber team by any means.
Right.
Whereas I still think Philly is a first place caliber team, but they have a first place schedule. It's going to be harder to crank out wins this year. But I think that I think that they're so very equipped to kind of repeat what they did last year.
Right.
Let's honestly, if you're cool with it, I want to see what our primetime games are, like SNF Monday Night Football, because those are standalones, and I just want to see what we're going to be stuck with. So let's do it. Is it?
They're going to stick us with a bunch of crap on Thursday night.
Sunday Night Football schedule. What the hell?
We know how that goes.
Well, we know who's playing that Thursday night too. Did SNF come out with their schedule yet? I mean, they had to have. All right, here it is. I got it. All right. Let me set this thing up. All right. Let me get a glance. Interesting. Okay.
He's intrigued.
Yes, indeed. Oh, wait. We got a couple bangers. So it's. I kind of like this. All right. Week 1, we know what it is. We got Dallas, Philly Thursday. And then we got Buffalo and Baltimore. Week 2, we've got J.J. McCarthy and Michael Penix Jr. Which.
Okay.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Wait, you said earlier that the Chiefs and Giants were Monday night.
No, that switched to Sunday night.
It's Sunday night. So we're getting another weird Giants game on Sunday Night Football like we did with the Bengals last year.
Unfortunately.
We're going to have Russ and Mahomes, and then we got the Cowboys at home. We got Packers and Cowboys, which that's something.
We know what happened last time.
Brutal ass kicking. Here we go. This could be a good game, but this could also be a wash. We got Patriots and Buffalo.
Okay.
This is my favorite because this game was last played on Sunday on NBC, not Sunday Night Football. But Chiefs Lions.
Chiefs Lions. Now this is at Ford Field.
This is an Arrowhead.
This is an Arrow. Oh, okay.
And then we've got Falcons. And then we got Falcons and Niners.
Oh,
I don't love that one.
all right.
Anything with Steelers, I don't love because they don't have a quarterback. We've got Super Bowl 45 rematch, Heinz Field, Packers and Steelers, two
Okay.
blue-collar teams. And then we got Seahawks and Commanders.
Could be interesting.
We got Steelers and Chargers.
I like that.
This one may be the best one. The NFC Championship we never got last year, Lions and Eagles.
Could be.
In the link.
Oh,
In November. Nice and cold.
I was gonna say. I like that.
That's a good that may be my favorite. That may trump the Chiefs one for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, it's all gonna depend on what Lions we get, what Lions team we get. You know.
Which that's something you and I have been talking about and will continue to talk about with the Lions.
Right.
It's just an interesting storyline with them losing both coordinators. Like we know how that can turn out sometimes. But looking at that first glance, that's very favorable for the Eagles.
Yes.
Getting that game at home in November, you've got a dome team. Like just at first glance, that's favorable for them. And then we've got Buccaneers and Rams.
Okay.
Thanksgiving, Bengals, Ravens. We knew that. We've got Commanders again, hosting the Broncos.
That could be an interesting one.
Which I like that one a lot. Like that was, and so that's around the same time frame. Remember the game last year with the Broncos and Browns?
Unfortunately, yeah.
What do you mean? That was a good game. Monday Night Football. I mean, Jameis threw the game-sealing pick, but it was a fun game to watch.
It was an interesting. That guy was turning the ball over like it was his true job.
Like, dude, like I'm all for you taking risks, but take calculated risks. Okay, we've got a playoff rematch, Week 14, first week in December. Texans and Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
Which,
no thanks.
I feel like this matchup here is on Sunday Night Football a lot. Vikings and Cowboys.
It does get that Sunday night treatment.
But that could get flexed, too, being in December.
Yeah.
Which I actually, if there's any game looking at this, that could get flexed. It's either that or the week after with the Dolphins and Bengals. That could get flexed, too. Because of both of them, not just the Dolphins, but I'm very high on the Bengals either, so,
You woke up feeling spicy today. Okay.
I always do. It's not a day I don't.
Okay.
And then we've got the Christmas weekend, the Peacock exclusive. Okay, cool your jets. And then, they've got not. Jesus Christmas. Oh God, they've got Niners and Bears. What? Why? What?
Wow.
Why? Like that. Okay, there's a couple teams I don't really understand getting the primetime treatment they're getting. The Niners, these are not the 2023 Niners.
Right.
The Falcons, I'm just not high on the Falcons. And then the Cowboys have a lot of Sunday night.
Well, I mean, come on.
It's America's team,
That's right. We're getting them on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
If there's ever a year where you're going to get too much Cowboys, it's this year. But looking at the schedule at first glance, what games stick out to you?
Well, to be 100% honest with you, I have it pulled up on the TV, but can't see too good. So I'm listening to you.
All right. Well, we got Gerald McCoy picking the Bears schedule right now. He has them 8-0 to start. Okay. Or no, not the Bears, the Bills. The Bills. He's got the Bills 8-0 to start the year.
Shocker.
All right. I like the Bills, but not that much. Let's look at Monday Night Football. Let's shift gears and look at Monday Night Football. I just want to blaze through here while they're on. Because like I said, the primetime games. I'm saving Thursday Night Football for last because I know I'm just gonna puke in my mouth a little when I see the matchups. But it is what it is. Monday Night Football TV schedule. Come on, be better. Leaked, bro. What are you talking about? Get it? Okay. All right, here it is. So week 1, we're getting Vikings and Bears,
That could be good.
which I like. It's in Soldier Field. Those two teams, when they play each other, it's always good.
Yeah.
A good NFC North game. I like that matchup. They've got a lot of good games throughout the years. Week 2, we've got an interleague matchup between two South teams. You want to guess what it is? AFC versus NFC South. Playoff teams last year.
Out of the AFC South?
Fuck, I gave it away. Yeah.
So go ahead.
I no, forget what I said. Two AFC versus NFC South.
So what, Houston?
Yep. It's in Houston.
Well, that's already got me not interested.
Ditto.
And who?
Yep. Yes.
No thanks.
That's week 2. I'm like, well, shit. All right, we're already on fire. Okay. Lions and Ravens, we knew was week 3 because we looked at that schedule. They've got 2 doubleheaders. They're not doing the week 1 doubleheader, which they've always done growing up, but now they've got doubleheaders on week 4 and week 6. Week 4 is Jets at Dolphins. That's 1.
Yeah.
And then they're going to stagger it and have Bengals at Broncos. So they're putting that game on again Monday night. Oh, no, that was Browns. But okay, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Bengals at Broncos. That was a good game towards the end of the year last year.
That was a good game. That one was in Cincy, right?
That was that was in Cincy, and that was the AFC wild card race. Like that was when, and it was between those 2 teams and y'all. So like it was pretty.
Oh, I remember.
Vividly.
I'm standing there for a second. Come on, you son of a bitch!
And literally verbatim.
I've never been more of a Cortland Sutton fan in my life.
The Bengals won that game, right? But then lost the week after.
I believe so.
Yes.
But go on.
All right, we got your defending AFC champion, Kansas City Chiefs, on the road against the Duval County Jacksonville Jaguars. That is on Monday night. We have a Monday night game in Jacksonville in week 5. You know, just from a historian standpoint, I like a Monday night game in week 5 in Jacksonville because that's when you got that Jaguars-Bengals win with Chad Johnson back in 2005. But, you're not going to get Chad Johnson in this game.
I'm going to say that was 20 years ago.
That was back in the glory days. It's my nostalgia flares up every
And
now.
I'm sorry, it's my old age kicking in. You said Jacksonville and who?
Chiefs.
Oh, throw him a bone. If you're going to give him a Monday night game, give him a shot.
Well, remember the other Monday night game they gave them last year against fucking Spencer Rattler and the Saints?
Unfortunately, yes.
I remember we were planning to do our first live commentating game for that, and we actually postponed it because of how bad the game was going to be. We were like we got if we're going to tee this thing off, we got to do it with something better than this.
Yeah, because that sucked.
And it did. I was very happy. I think we kicked it off with Bills and Jets, I think.
I believe so. That terrible Monday night game.
That game sucked too. But my boy Ray Davis had a good game. That's about it.
Piss off.
Kentucky.
Who else you got Monday night?
Ooh, a rematch of last year's classic between the Bears and Commanders.
I like that.
In Washington. And then we've got Bills at Falcons.
What?
The Falcons have so much prime time this year for no reason.
It's in what, Atlanta?
Yeah.
Thank God. At least I don't have to look at that piece of shit stadium Buffalo plays in.
Hey, it's their last year playing there.
Thank God. No, I like going there, quite honestly, because anywhere you sit's pretty much a good seat. So
I think the new stadium's kind of like that too. So I love the design of the new stadium. It actually looks pretty sharp.
To hell with them. But go on.
Okay, so I misspoke. There's actually 3 weeks where we have multiple Monday night games.
Oh, see, now they're doing too much.
Yeah, they're getting too cute. Week 7, like we're already in October. Like we're still doing this. And these games are okay. Texans at Seahawks.
Okay.
Buccaneers at Lions.
That could be good.
That was a playoff game a couple years ago. That was pretty good. If Baker didn't throw that pick, the Lions or the Bucks probably would have moved on.
Yeah, no, that one could be good, but the other one, the hell is that?
Yeah, that one. Texans and Seahawks is a weird. Like that to me is like Sunday at 1. Like that's a Sunday at 1. That's not a primetime game. Week 8, I actually love this game. Commanders at Chiefs. That's a really good game, especially in Arrowhead in Week 8. I love that.
That'll be a good measuring stick for Washington.
And absolutely. At that point of year, we'll really be trying to get a gauge on them. I love that. Week 9, we've got the Emmitt Smith Bowl.
Oh my God. The Cardinals?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Cardinals at Cowboys, Week 9.
Do you know what happened last time those two played on a Monday night game?
That was an ass kicking, right?
It sucked.
When was that?
That was 20.
Oh my God.
2020?
Cowboys.
I think it was 2020.
That was a COVID game, wasn't it?
Yeah, that game sucked.
Wait, no. This September 24th, 2023. 28-16. Cardinals.
Oh, well, never mind. Then there was one before that was also just not good.
Hold on, Cardinals. I'm curious now.
I'm pretty sure it was in Dallas. I want to say it was the year 2020.
Oh, yeah, the Cardinals beat the ever-living shit out of them.
Yes.
38-10.
Yes, that's
there it is, right there.
But God, I wish the Cardinals could just be left off of all schedules.
Well, brother, it's who's not being represented enough, and I'm getting amped up here, but you know, the Patriots. I think they have a much improved roster, and you know who I want to see more of on this prime? I have too much confidence in them. The Titans.
I want to see less of the Titans.
I like Cam Ward. I think it's really going to be a good combination, but that's just me.
I hate to be this guy, but it might just be you. Yeah.
You know, I will die on this hill.
Oh, you're dead, bud.
Week 1, we're gonna see the Mile High City, buddy. Let me tell you, that is a terrible game to start Week 1. But moving on, Week 10, Eagles at Packers. We knew that when that got released yesterday.
Yeah.
Dude, there's another Cowboys primetime game.
Shocker.
And you're gonna hate this one.
Oh.
This is gonna give you flashbacks to 2023 in Tuscaloosa. They're playing in Vegas.
Oh, I gotta watch the City Raiders
on Monday Night Football, buddy.
I mean, no. Here's the thing: it'll be a little more exciting because Genti's there, and Geno Smith's actually a respectable quarterback. Yeah. It was one thing when they were throwing Aiden O'Connell out there. It's like, Mike, this is what you're gonna make me watch?
That was these past 2 years, when it was Aiden O'Connell 1 year, and then Gardner Minshew the year after. The Raiders were probably the most unwatchable team in football, but now
awful.
With Geno out there, it's a bit more respectable.
So that's unfortunate. Who else you got?
Oh God. This may be the worst primetime game I've seen so far.
It's getting worse?
Oh yeah. This game is terrible. Panthers at 49ers.
Someone needs to get Roger Goodell on the horn.
Get him on the horn.
This is the Panthers should not be on any standalone game.
Oh, come on. You want to watch Bryce Young?
Oh, I'm gonna.
There's always one Monday night game every year that's so bad, and you know how big of a football guy I am, but there's always one Monday night game every year to where I'm like, am I gonna watch this, or like am I gonna flick like Home Alone or something on, like because it is Week 12.
That's right.
All right,
By
week
halftime,
13. Week 13. Your New York Football Giants are on.
who they got?
It's a rematch of Super Bowl 42 and 46.
Oh, that's right, New England.
Yep. It's in Foxborough
My dad's going to that.
against Drake May. It'll be in December. Hey, enough out of you. And then week 14, this is a good game. Eagles at Chargers. That's interesting.
That is a good game. I like that one.
That's a solid matchup. Jim Harbaugh, Sirianni. I like that game. That's actually really good.
Better than the crap you've been giving me, damn it.
The rest of this is not very good at all.
And this is the Monday night games?
Yeah.
Thursdays. This is going to be terrible.
This is gonna be bad. I've got a bad feeling about Thursday. I haven't even gotten there yet. But we're going to finish this off with Dolphins and Steelers.
Yeah.
49ers at Colts.
Oh, my God.
You remember that game on Sunday Night Football a few years ago?
Unfortunately.
With and they had the atmospheric river. That fucking monsoon.
How you going to feel on your Monday night? You're going to have to watch Brock Purdy and Anthony Richardson. Or maybe Daniel Jones.
I was going to say it could very well be Daniel Jones.
God, Brock Purdy and Daniel Jones. Man, I'm good.
And it's week 16 too, so there could be injuries at that time. Like this could be, if either one of those two teams are dilapidated, that's gonna be a rough watch. And then to cap it all off, a great Monday night slate: Rams at Falcons.
Interesting.
What the hell is this dog? Hey!
Yeah, give him hell.
What the hell you get?
I love it when that dog gives him hell because, quite honestly, the guy deserves it. I mean, look at him.
Drover, I'm telling you, dog's a piece of work.
You're a piece of work, pal.
I want him to introduce himself. Drover, come here. Come up. There he is. There's the boy. He's gotten big. Look at him.
That's right. Hey, a little bit more. He's going to be bigger than you, big guy.
Hey.
Yeah, I love it. I love it when the dog gives him hell. Give him hell.
Oh, shit. I just got ball tapped by a dog on live YouTube.
I knew I loved that dog.
Drover's a menace. I love him, though. He's great. He's an absolute king. I want to bring Cone out here at some time. But she's hiding away. All right, you ready for Thursday night?
Do I really have a goddamn choice?
Oh, we knew Chiefs week 1 in Brazil versus the Chargers.
Yeah, which I think personally, games like that should not be division games, in my opinion.
No, me too. I completely agree. It should be like an intra-league. Like you're talking like, Chargers, Giants or something.
Mm.
Or I thought the Brazil game was perfect last year. Like,
yeah,
like Eagles, Packers. It's not a division game. You're both in the NFC. Like it's two big brands playing each other. Like I like the matchup, but you're not. When you have a conference game or when you have a division game on the line in Brazil, because one of those teams are going to lose their home game.
Well, right.
And unfortunately, it's the Chargers.
Right, who need it? Although
it doesn't really matter.
Honestly, we already talked about that. I mean, Charger home games are not really home games. So
they're, I've seen Everybody Loves Raymond episodes that are more uplifting than Chargers home games.
Wow,
but,
that's wow. Okay.
Here we go. Thursday Night Football.
Oh, good God.
All right, let's rip the Band-Aid off.
Oh, God.
This game is on 9/11, which is a Thursday this year.
Okay.
It's in Green Bay.
Okay.
I like this game. Commanders and Packers.
I like that.
Hopefully they do a cool little thing before the game
Right.
for 9/11.
I'm sure.
I think that I think that'd be good production. The week after, this is gonna give Zeke flashbacks from last year. But it's literally the same game but different location. Dolphins and Bills.
That's the night that I almost had a complete mental breakdown.
I remember you were crying in your room.
Crying, no, I was crying everywhere. Angry tears. Let's just get this straight. Angry. I felt depleted. I felt. That was one of the only times in my life I felt hopeless.
I was gonna say, was that your lowest point?
It was rock bottom, please. Please. I went below that.
Rock bottom. You haven't watched the Dolphins yet, have you?
Yeah. Watch a full season of a Dolphin season. Every game, every snap. And let me know how your mental fucking health is afterwards. Because I'll tell you right now, mine was in shambles after week 2.
That was last year. And the year before, you had a 3-game lead on Buffalo.
All right. We'll keep it moving.
All right. Week 4, we've got another division matchup, you got Seattle and Arizona.
Okay. Shocker. I mean, eventually, that's always usually a Thursday game.
I do feel like that one. Like, you always get a West game on a Thursday, which is funny because you get the opposite West game the following week. San Fran and LA.
Yeah.
And literally the week after. And then you get another division game in the East. If you want to guess these two.
Who?
They're very close to each other.
Who is it, damn it?
It's the I-95 rivalry between Philly and the Giants.
Oh, my God.
In New York.
Do we even have to televise that game?
Evidently, I feel like week 6 Thursday night is always shitty football. Like that was when you had that Broncos Colts game a couple years ago too. That was just freaking putrid.
I didn't even know you could put murder on television.
They're on Instagram. I don't know you can put them on television.
True.
Another division game the week after in the AFC North this time.
Okay.
Pittsburgh at Cincy.
I only like those games because they kill each other.
There's a lot of bad blood between those two teams.
Love
it. I like that one. Okay, this one is good.
We'll see about
Minnesota at the Chargers. I like that one.
Okay, I like that one. I'll give you that one.
And then we got a spooky game between Zeke's favorite Lamar Jackson and Zeke's favorite Dolphins.
Yeah.
And then you've got
that's gonna suck.
You've got 2 more division games in a row. This one is not great. Vegas and Denver.
Okay.
And then you got Jets at New England.
Okay.
Which I like that. And that's a good hard-nosed football game. I think two coaches with emphasis on defense, so I like that.
I was gonna say that. Although that Thursday game last year sucked.
The Jets and Patriots had one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That game was terrible.
It was at MetLife. It was so bad.
I remember that nobody could move the ball. It was like 10-6. Yeah, that game sucked. Then you got Buffalo at Houston.
Okay. Houston will be banged up at that point.
Yeah, I think Houston's one of those injury teams this year. Come on, Grover. Come on. And then you've got Bears at Eagles on Black Friday. But you remember the Black Friday game last year was something with the Raiders and the Chiefs. Who's going to win the game?
Oh my
Raiders
God. The Raiders. Raiders suck.
Yeah, the Raiders really blew that game up. Like the Raiders should have won that, but they gagged it. You're crazy. And then we've got a rematch of last year's game, but it's in a different location, the opposite location. Dude, you're insane. It's another Cowboys game.
All right, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry really paid Roger this year.
My God.
Come on. It is Dallas and Detroit
No
in
thanks.
Ford Field.
No thanks.
I don't love that game at all either. Dude, you're insane. Drover, who's going to win that game?
It's okay, because if you ask Cowboy fans, George Pickens is going to go for 230
like
that
George
game.
Pickens? You like George Pickens, Drover? Are you a George Pickens fan?
Say no. He sucks.
George Pickens? Oh, God. This dog is driving me to drink. Ooh, I love this game because this is a rematch of last year. Dude, this dog is nuts. Falcons and Buccaneers.
So, yeah, you know who doesn't get Thursday Night Football, who we used to get it all the time?
Who?
Jags versus Tennessee.
I'd actually like to watch that this year, honestly.
Oh, man, here we go. This fucking guy.
Tennessee has no pride, no love at all this year.
You know why? I'll tell you why. Simple. I say it to you all the time. Because they suck.
They're not as bad as Jacksonville.
I don't know, pal. I think they're
as bad
worse.
as Jacksonville. And if you ask me who I'd rather watch, them or Indianapolis, I'd rather watch the Titans.
Titans over Indianapolis?
I would rather watch Cam Ward than Anthony Richardson.
I'd rather watch Tennessee over Indy just simply because I'm interested in Cam Ward. Other than that, they both suck.
Fair enough. Based off of last year, fair enough.
So is that all the Thursday games?
No. There's two more.
Okay.
Weekend before Christmas. Week before Christmas. Rams Seahawks.
Okay.
At the home of the 12th man.
Yeah.
And then
I've seen that one a few times. The Rams play there on Thursday night.
I remember the one game they did back in 2019 was really good when the Seahawks won off of the missed field goal.
Mm-hmm.
That game, I remember that one. That was awesome. That Russell Wilson, the Tyler Lockett pass, that was sick. That was when Russ was Russ. And then we cap it off on Christmas Day with Broncos Chiefs,
which we are both interested in.
So that game's really good. This may be the first year I've said this. I think that the Thursday night schedule is better than Monday Night Football.
Could be.
I think it's better. Again, like you said, looking at it right now from the bird's eye view, I think it's better.
Hopefully you got all your passwords ready to go and all your money ready to be spent on every goddamn subscription to watch every game.
Oh yeah, we got Peacock, we got YouTube TV,
Amazon Prime.
We got Amazon Prime. I hope you're ready. Folks. You're gonna be spending a lot of money, and heaven forbid if you're going to a game. I really hope you're ready because Zeke went to a Cowboys game last year and he found out what that was about.
Well, no, that's just because Cowboy fans are just bitter. They're all bitter and mad, and not my problem.
So we went to the Cowboys-Giants game on Thanksgiving last year.
Mm-hmm.
Our buddy Jonah's in a Michael Strahan Giants jersey.
Division rival.
And a Tua jersey. Zeke got more shit than Jonah did.
Yeah, telling me to go back to South Beach. Like, buddy, I'm from upstate New York, all right? You don't even know who the hell I am. Giving me a hard time. How about you give a problem to the guy in the Giants jersey? Your division rival? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not even in the same conference, you jackass.
Your quarterback's a bitch.
Yeah, the one guy, we're leaving. We're walking and we're outside. And one guy just randomly walks by. There's nobody else on the sidewalk. Just walks by. Tua's a bitch. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, buddy, I will fold you up right now. You understand?
Which I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty risky to do on a sidewalk with nobody else around you because you could have responded in a very different way than you did.
Yeah. Let me walk up to three people and just you. And then, mind you, two of which, me and Jonah, not the smallest human beings in the world, You gonna say my quarterback's a bitch?
That guy could have gotten his ass kicked.
Well, that's just like the one guy that yelled at me and said, well, I can't say these exact words, but he made a comment about the color of my jersey. That not the main because I was wearing a white jersey, but the number, the color that it is, the aqua. He made a comment about it, huh?
But did he say it was gay?
He made some comments. Let's just say that. And, I didn't like it very much, but again, it's Brian's, workspace, and I can't act like an absolute animal. But man, he's lucky that the Tims weren't on and we were in upstate New York because it probably would have been a different result.
And that happened in New York, and we're going to be in New York here in a few weeks. So let me tell you, if that happened when we were in New York, that would have been. If anything happens like that down in the Bronx, it's good. It's going to be something.
So Thursday Night Football typically sucks. It'll probably still suck, knowing our luck. But we'll have to wait and see.
There's a couple Sunday night games I'm pretty excited for.
Yeah.
There's Eagles, Lions, Chiefs, Ravens, Bills. Even though that game on Sunday night sucked last year, I think it'll be better. There's a couple of those I'm pretty excited about. But Monday night was a letdown. I'm not going to lie. That was a freaking buzzkill of a schedule. And then Thursday night was okay. I like that. I didn't mind Thursday night. That one's good. I'll take that one.
Mm-hmm.
But what's what do you say to cap it off? You want to look at let's look at 5 random team schedules to end this off.
Okay.
Who are you most curious about?
Give me. I'm trying to think. Somebody good. Give me Tampa's.
All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Because this is one of those teams where I'm torn on this division. Who I'm going to pick to win it all.
To be honest, we know the two it's not going to be.
It's not going to be Carolina,
and
it is most certainly not going to be the Saints.
Right.
And so it's going to come down to 2.
Yeah. Which one do you prefer?
Let's see. In which I'm probably still going to ride Tampa Bay. I'm not going to lie.
Well, you have to just based off experience alone.
As of right now, I'm probably still rocking with Tampa Bay.
Absolutely.
All right, here it is. They got the Falcons week 1. They've got
starting early.
Yeah, division game that early. I love all these division games week 1. That it's kind of a theme I'm seeing. I actually really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Week 2, you got Houston on the road. And then they've got their home opener against the Jets.
Okay.
Then they play the Eagles at home. And then they're on the road in Seattle.
That's a long trip.
They're literally across the northwest, southeast, and northwest.
Yep.
San Fran at home. On the road in Detroit. On the road in New Orleans. At home against New England. On the road against Buffalo.
I hope they beat them. I hope they do.
That to me, that's a calendar circular game where I'm really interested in that game.
I hate Baker Mayfield, but hopefully he can just do one thing right for me in his goddamn life.
Both quarterbacks will be ripping zins that game. That'll be something.
Yeah.
You got the Rams on the road. And then you've got Arizona at home. A little homestand here. Arizona, New Orleans, and Atlanta at home.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers on the road. Dolphins at home. Panthers on the road. So I think that December schedule is pretty manageable.
Yeah. What was the last one?
You got New Orleans, Atlanta, Carolina, Miami, Carolina.
See, that's great because not only do you get to be home a lot, but even your road games, they're not even that far.
No, they're not far. They're not hard.
So that'll be beneficial for them late.
Miami obviously a lot tougher than Carolina.
Yeah, well, some people would disagree, but yeah.
I know I can't wait to see some of these Miami haters out here, man. There's gonna be some people picking y'all to go 5-12. I know it. All right, let's do 2 teams each. Let's do that to end it off. Well, I'm gonna have my one be the Dolphins.
You're gonna do the Dolphins?
Yep.
This fucking guy.
Do you know who your home opener is?
The home open. I had the whole schedule. I had the whole schedule at like 1:00, but I off the top of my head, I know we play Indy week 1, but that's on the road.
Hold on. Okay, did that right. All right. Yeah, Indy's on the road.
Yeah.
New England,
New
Buffalo,
England.
Jets. And then you've got Carolina on the road.
I'll be there.
Week 5, October 5th.
Yeah.
You've got the Chargers at home.
Yeah.
1 p.m. on a Sunday. You get Justin Herbert.
Can't wait.
Then you're on the road in the dog pound. Cleveland.
And then we go to Atlanta, I believe.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Then Baltimore at home. Buffalo at home. You're losing a home game in Madrid.
Yeah, I can't wait for that goddamn shit.
Love that against the defending NFC champion appearance team.
Washington Commanders.
You've got New Orleans at home.
Yeah.
Jets on the road. Steelers on the road. Bengals at home on Sunday night. Bucks at home. Patriots on the road. Time to be determined.
Yep. Not thrilled.
It's not a. Let's see what some of these comments are saying. 11-6 or 10-7 season loading. That's one. And then just a bunch of Tua memes. Looks like we're going 5-12. That's another one we got.
5-12.
6-11 is another prediction I just saw.
Oh my God.
And then we got this guy. 5 primetime games. Let's go get those dubs.
Well, here's the issue. Guess what we don't do on prime time? We don't win. And that's not going to change. I mean, I you know me. I could go on for hours about goddamn Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer and the whole situation there. Some of these, you shouldn't have to feel hopeless. When you have some of the players you have on the roster, to feel hopeless when you do play a Buffalo division rival or a Baltimore, that is the worst feeling in the goddamn world. It's great to be hopeful and whatever, but you got to be honest with yourself too. I mean, listen, there's plenty of games on there like the Panthers and the Saints. I'm not too huge on the Jets either, but there's gonna be some layups, right? But man, there's gonna be some challenging ones on there.
There's some hard games, and there's this one guy said, "This is the year we win a playoff game. Media team in it finally. We got these new unis. Let's fucking go. This is it, baby."
Man, it's so hard because there's a lot of those guys in that locker room, and Mike McDaniel as a person, you want to root for him so bad, but the mentality I just don't think is there.
To gut out those primetime games and those games in challenging places on the road late in the season. I just don't think they have that about them.
Here's the thing. Monday Night Football in Pittsburgh, when it comes down to it, Pittsburgh's grinding out the clock and their defensive battle. You really think that Miami's going to thrive in Pittsburgh that late in the year?
Oh, it's cold.
It's going to be cold. They're going to hit you a little too much.
Yeah, you're playing that defense. It's still, I know they don't have a quarterback, but that defense is still stacked. It's going to be a tough game.
It's going to be extremely tough. And so, and listen, they fooled me enough where I'm not going to be the optimistic guy anymore. I've been smacked in the face too many times.
No, I'm not Mr. Nice Guy.
No, I'm not gonna get fooled again. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. It hurts too much to be hopeful. So much, and when I'm around certain people, and they're like, man, it would be so great to get that Super Bowl this year. Like, I'm in the kitchen with Jonah, who's a Giants fan. I was in the kitchen with him earlier, and he's like, man, I would love to see a Giants Super Bowl in my lifetime. I said, you've won 2 in your lifetime. Well, I was young. I didn't. I said, you got some balls, buddy. Okay, you had 2 Super Bowls in your lifetime. I have 0 playoff wins. Okay,
That's
it, it's getting out of control. So I'm done being the optimistic guy when it comes to Miami. I can't do it anymore. I can't.
that's fair. That's it. When you let a team build your hopes up that much, all for it to just crumble year after year after year, it has an impact on you.
And it's hard. And I'll be honest, we all know this. It's all gonna come down to if Tua stays healthy. Tua stays healthy, you're gonna win enough ball games. You're gonna be at least in the mix for that wild card, 100%.
Absolutely.
But if he goes down, buddy, you got Zach Wilson coming in to save your season, and that doesn't make me too comfortable. So,
And why is that? I know a lot of people don't like to admit that, but why is that? Because Tua is actually a good quarterback. But a lot of people don't want to admit that. But he is.
Dan Orlovsky, who I have a love-hate thing with, right? He's played the position. Did he play it at a high level when he was in the NFL? No, but he got to that level. So the guy knows ball, right? And he'll break it down. He straight up said Tua is one of, if not one of the most important quarterback to the success of the team. Because without him,
They're nothing.
Miami, it's a whole different thing going on. They're a shell of themselves. It's you saw it last year. They had no answer. No answer. They couldn't run the ball. They could not pass the ball with anybody, whether Tim Boyle. You give me Tim Boyle? Are you serious?
That was pathetic.
Mike White.
That was absolutely pathetic.
Skylar Thompson. I'm sorry, Mike White got released earlier. Skylar Thompson, who's no longer with the team. Thank God. Failed project. I mean, it's tough. Miami's completely different without Tua. And the people that say otherwise, they're simply just haters. It's the numbers speak for themselves. The man has shown it, and the people that don't want to acknowledge it, they simply just don't know what they're talking about. They're probably the same people that say that Jared Goff should be an MVP. Hate to break it to you, Jared Goff's really not that guy either.
Which, I like Jared Goff a lot, but I'm not going to sit there and say MVP. I mean, it's crazy.
Right. So,
not to interrupt what you're saying, but we have something very important here. We have the DK Metcalf revenge game on week 2.
We do.
Seahawks and Steelers.
How many people you think he fights in that game?
5.
He's going to pout at some point in that game.
I wish that the Cowboys were playing Steelers. That would have been electric to get the George Pickens revenge game. To be staring down Tomlin and all that freaking shit.
George Pickens is going to be fighting somewhere at the back of that end zone. Somebody somewhere. Hey, he's going to be back there.
We're going to have to go down at some point at this year and find which game George Pickens is most likely to fight in. Well, probably them Philly people are going to get under his skin week 1. I can tell you that right now.
Well, all you have to really know is there a game? Because if there is, he's probably going to be fighting.
It's just the makeup.
Just
one more stat before I look your team up. So the 4 teams have the most primetime games.
Yeah.
It's interesting. 3 of the 4 teams were in their conference championship game last year.
Mm-hmm.
You want to guess which team wasn't? Just take a wild guess.
Oh, tell me. I don't play
Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Yep. They have 6 primetime games this year in the company of KC, Philly, and Washington for the most primetime games this year.
will never
Washington
shock me.
team that's now all of a sudden very relevant, and now they have a shit ton of primetime games. So welcome to the jungle, Commanders. Hope you're ready to go.
I'm hoping so too, quite honestly.
I like what's going on there, and I want to see it sustained for them. But it's they too are going to be another one of those teams that they had a successful year last year, kind of like Houston. Like last year's a great story and all, but now you got to go back and do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be Jane Daniels' sophomore year, Dan Quinn's second year. The hype is there, the expectation is there. Can you continue to deliver when the expectation is there? That's what this year's going to be for them.
The only thing I will say is I think Washington, the fact they got Cliff Kingsbury as their OC, they have a better offensive plan. And overall, I think they have a better roster than Houston did, even when Houston had a good team or had a good year the other year. Overall, I think what Washington's doing and has is better than Houston. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, Washington was ahead of schedule, but I feel like Houston just overachieved. I think Houston was a little bit of a surprise, obviously, but I think people got fooled a little too much.
I think there's more substance in Washington, if you will,
100%.
especially when you look at the personnel,
100%.
both on the coaching and the player side. Their personnel is just better than what they have in Houston.
Right.
And there's more depth. That defense is better. They upgraded. Like this is just. I think it's just a better team, and I think they're just positioned better to have a season that builds off of what they did last year.
100%.
All right, so whose schedule do you want me to look up next?
I probably only got one more. Honestly, the Vikings.
I have one more too.
Okay.
So this works out perfect. J.J. McCarthy's very own Minnesota Vikings.
Because as you know, they just missed my list. So I do kind of have high hopes for them, even though I don't like J.J. McCarthy. But
the Vikings, one of those teams, like you said, we have an acquired taste for.
Right.
You're either very high on them. Is that they're releasing their schedule with tattoos this year?
Hey man,
Okay. All right. Here we go. I'm looking at this little thing here they got on their social media page. Week 1, Chicago on the road. Week 2 at home versus the Falcons. Week 3 at home versus the Bengals. That was a good game back in 2021. It's funny. I remember all these games and they were played last.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what was one earlier? Oh, yeah. New England, Tampa Bay. The last time they played was Brady's homecoming.
Yep.
Week 4 in Dublin. That's the thing we'll end with is the international games. But week 4 in Dublin, Pittsburgh. Week 5 on the road against Cleveland. Week 6 at home versus Philly.
Yeah. Did you see where that Cleveland game is?
How the fuck?
Yep. First team to ever do it.
How do you do one of your best franchises like that? That's my question. Because, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the report cards show every year. I know they don't have a Super Bowl or so for it. I know. Don't get me started. But Minnesota is one of the NFL's best franchises, year in and year out. The report cards show that. As far as an organization goes, and you reward them with 2 overseas games in a row.
Yep.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
And in 2 different countries.
That's just awful. Yeah. I mean, I know same region, but 2 different countries. That's just that's awful.
Right.
Philly at home, Chargers on the road, Detroit on the road. Wow, that's tough. Then Baltimore.
Oh my God.
And then on the road against Green Bay. Oh my God.
JJ gonna get some work. This
is not good.
Oh my Lord.
And then they go to the 12th man.
Oh.
That environment's insane. And then they have Washington. And then they're on the road in Dallas. So, like, maybe catch your breath a little.
Yeah.
And then, hold on.
Oh, good Lord. God bless.
Thank you. And then they're on the road at MetLife. Ooh. And then they're at home versus Detroit, at home versus Green Bay. So
It's not going to be an easy year for Mr. J.J. McCarthy.
that's a hard schedule. That is a really hard schedule.
100%.
Now, let's look at what is projected to be the NFL's hardest schedule this year, at least by strength of schedule. The New York Football Giants. Oh, he's back. We lost Zeke for a second, but he's back.
I have reappeared.
All right, here we go. Let's see this thing. Week 1, Commanders. Week 2, Cowboys, both on the road. Their first home game was against the Chiefs.
Yep.
And then Chargers at home, on the road against the Saints, at home against the Eagles. On the road, Mile High, that sucks. On the road against the Eagles, and then the 49ers. So they're going Eagles, Broncos, Eagles. That's rough. That's, yeah. At home versus the Niners, all right. On the road versus the Bears, okay. At home versus the Packers. Road Lions, tune up before Thanksgiving. Road Patriots, Monday Night Football. Bye week on week 14.
That's crazy.
Okay. Home Commanders, home Vikings, road Raiders, home Cowboys. So the December schedule is manageable, but not having your bye in week 14, and that schedule is going to be brutal beforehand. I can see the Giants, especially, what I look at when I see this is I think you hold off on Jackson Dart for a bit. I don't think you rush him in. I think you maybe start to get him in towards Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe put him in that Bears game. Maybe put him in that Packers game at home. But not having a bye week to week 14 and having all those hard games, like that. Whenever you're a team that doesn't play in Denver, like it's one thing for your AFC West teams that are used to it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're a team that doesn't play in Denver a lot and you're going up there, it's hard.
100%.
It's hard. And Russ played there for a year. Okay, so that's an advantage. Jackson Dart's from Utah. All right. But it's still, nonetheless, from your entire teams collectively, that standpoint, it is hard going up there. All right, let's look at these international games for 2025. And then we're going to end it off here. My laptop's energy is starting to get low. All right, let's here we go. Yep, we've got officially, like we said, Chiefs, Chargers, and Brazil. Hate that.
Yep.
Vikings, Steelers, Vikings, Browns. Okay. Sunday, October 12th, Columbus Day weekend at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. We have the Broncos and the Jets. The Nathaniel Hackett Bowl.
Mm.
You remember that thing last year?
Unfortunately.
That for coach.
It was the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I was like, okay. It was kind of like the Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher thing. Like, all right.
Well, just listen. I don't want to interrupt, but prepare yourself because when Aaron Rodgers becomes a Steeler, which he will become a Steeler, it's going to be Steelers-Jets early in the season. We're going to get Fields against the Steelers and Rodgers against the Jets. It's all it's going to be.
Silly-ass storylines that the media tries to fabricate.
Yep.
We've been around this game long enough to know where this is going to go.
Yep.
So then we've got Rams, Jags in London, Wembley, October 19th. A couple weeks later, November 9th, the Colts always get one. I guess that the people in Germany love the Colts because they why I don't know, but they
can spend more time drinking than actually watching the game.
I need a couple pints to watch the freaking Colts.
That's right.
The Falcons, which wow, and then Your very own Miami Dolphins and the Commanders.
That's right. Madrid.
In Madrid. 2 weeks before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Absolutely sucks.
So those are your, I like international games from the standpoint that they promote our game in different countries and, grow the fan base and whatnot. I hope we never actually build a team over there because this is an American sport. But I don't like the fact that takes away from home games. Now, I know that there's teams that doesn't impact as much, like your Chargers, your Jaguars, because the Jaguars have a big fan base in London.
Right.
But for a lot of these teams, like y'all that are playing over there, like you're literally losing a home game. And so that's the downside. I don't like that. That's one thing I've always picked apart about schedules when I see those international games.
Yep.
But it's always a conversation to be had. So, we've got a couple good ones overseas. I remember we got Bills and Jags overseas a couple years ago. That was a good one. I could see Vikings Steelers being interesting. I could see the Jags and Rams oddly being a good game for some reason.
Maybe.
And then y'all in Washington is interesting.
Yeah, I wish they would have put us with because we play New Orleans this year at home. I wish they would have just put that one down there because I'd rather have Commanders. I'd rather have Washington come to Miami. I'd rather have that game there.
Well, you need all the luck you can get against Washington,
right? So
because they're a clear matchup favorites. Like you need everything that you can possibly have in your corner.
Yep. It's gonna suck.
Having that was a rough blow. I would have taken Carolina over there. Somebody. It's not freaking Washington. That sucks.
100%.
Well, I think that's all we have for today. We covered the schedule release.
That's right.
I want to thank you all for hopping on here today. This is one of our favorite days of the year, being able to see, what the games we've been anticipating and talking about, when they're going to be played. So
getting closer and closer.
We're getting closer and closer. It's a bittersweet day because we now know we can now start making our plans, but we also sit down and realize how fucking far away it is. It's we have to go through all summer of having nothing but baseball. So we've got months and months and months of that, but nonetheless, we will be bringing it to you content-wise every week.
That's right.
Zeke, thank you for hopping on. We'll be back again here very soon. We're making an announcement about our next appearance. But thank you all for watching. Happy schedule release. Have a great day.